SCP-3653. Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Due to the nature of SCP-3653, containment is an annual event, occurring on the first of each year. When new instances of SCP-3653 are discovered, the instances are to be confiscated and incinerated. 1. Any persons of clearance level 3 and below known to have seen SCP-3653 directly during January 1 are to be informed that a year only has 365 days. No further action is necessary. It should be noted that this must be a person-to-person explanation. Reading a written passage, including this article, declaring the amount of days in a year to be 365 is not sufficient to override the belief. Listening to a recording is not sufficient either. Under no circumstance are any personnel to inform any higher-ranking staff, such as Level 4s who have opted out, or any O5, that a year has 365 days. Doing so shall be punished by immediate termination of employment for life, as the SCP only affects Foundation personnel, and as its effect is very easily dispelled, it is considered contained. One instance of SCP-3653 is to be kept in a safe at Site-19 for testing purposes, and replaced each year. TTT. Description: SCP-3653 is a single-sheet calendar with 162 extra days, for a total of 527 or 528 days, dependent upon whether it is a leap year. The calendar has a Foundation logo on its upper left side, and the current year on its upper right side. The calendar is identical to the official Foundation office calendar, apart from the extra days. The calendar is printed in landscape orientation on thick stock 8.5 by 11 paper. Each year, on January 1 at midnight, it will manifest in homes or dormitories of Foundation members globally, according to the time zone each home is located within. Due to experimentation involving C-class personnel, and associated records, it has been determined that instances likely originate from one of the extra days close to the end of the previous year, and are distributed by the Foundation itself. When SCP-3653 manifests, those it comes into contact with during January 1 will in fact experience a 527/528 day year. Additionally, subjects will not fall out of sync with those who have not seen the calendar. Explaining to the subject that a year has only 365 days will cause the subject to snap back to normalcy and retain no direct memory of the 5th and 6th weeks of each month. The calendar is otherwise non-anomalous, and will cause no effect if viewed after January 1 of the year. Experiment Log, Experiment Log, Experiment Log, Experiment 1. Determine primary effect of SCP. Procedure: Class C-592 is intentionally allowed to keep her instance of SCP-3653 and is also allowed to return to her normal routine for 1 year. Result: at the end of the year, C-592 expressed confusion when provided with a 365-day calendar. She requested that her journal be retrieved and pointed out that the researchers involved with this experiment had in fact spoken with her on several of the non-existent days. The researchers had no memory of doing so. Subject was formally informed that a year only has 365 days, and allowed to return to her normal routine. Instance of SCP-3653 incinerated. Experiment 2. Determine whether the extra days are imagined or experienced. Procedure: Class C-625 is intentionally allowed to keep his instance of SCP-3653, and is instructed to have written conversations with researcher Dr. Green in his journal on the non-existent days. To avoid prematurely confusing C-625, he was simply instructed to gather notes in the 5th and 6th weeks of each month. Result: at the end of the year, C-625 handed in his journal, despite confusion stemming from his insistence that there were still 2 weeks left before the end of the year. The subject was informed that a year only has 365 days. The subject then returned to his normal routine. Instance of SCP-3653 incinerated. Experiment 2 Journal Excerpt. Experiment 2 Journal. The following is transcribed from the journal. Dr. Green, Please state today's date, C625, today is January 36th, 20. Why are we doing this, Dr. Green? This is an exercise to determine whether information from the 5th and 6th weeks of each month can be preserved into the first day of the month afterward, C625, okay. What SCP are we testing? Is this journal the SCP, Dr. Green? If I explained to you what the SCP was, it would lose its effect, Dr. Green. At this point, C625 cursed and demanded I tell him what the big deal is. Please ensure that you've written down your response, instead of merely saying it. C625, can we be done for today, Dr. Green? Please write down your birthday, and then we can conclude the session. C625, 3-42-1984, C625's birthday is on file as March 23, 1984. Handwriting analysis confirms that Dr. Green did write in the journal on several occasions, despite maintaining no memory of doing so. Point 2, Input Login Credentials Level 4/3652 Clearance required, Credentials accepted, above cover entry is not to be altered without O5 approval, item hashtag, SCP-3653.